Hello and welcome back to Kidocracy at Large. I'm Siddhan Chandra and here every Saturday to talk about a current event in the framework of kidocratic education. Kidocracy calls for the rule of minors and minorities, and kidocratic education is led by minors and minorities towards educating the adults and the majority. It can happen through collective actions or individual actions. Case in point is Harry and Meghan's interview on Oprah. Here I have to tell you that I have made 2 other videos about Harry and Meghan in the light of the first 6 values of kidocratic education, and today I'll be speaking about the last 3. There are 9 values in total. Value number 7 is the queer art of failure. Number 8, negative capability. And value number 9, which is a formula. The base of solidarity into the axis of nobility is equal to the kidocratic dimension. So, value number 7, the queer art of failure. In their book, The Queer Art of Failure, Jack Halberstam foregrounds failure as a richer way of being instead of the conformist practice of success. Tales of success inundate our neoliberal capitalist world, and tales of failure are hiding behind those tales of success. Halberstam highlights failure as not only a richer way of being, but as a queer way of being. Halberstam quotes Heather Love from Feeling Backwards: Loss and the Politics of Queer History. The value of some aspects of historical gay identity, deeply ideological though they may be, have been diminished or dismissed with successive waves of liberation. Central among these is the association between homosexual love and loss. Claiming such an association rather than disavowing it, I see the art of losing as a particularly queer art. As Halberstam says, heteronormative common sense leads to the equation of success with advancement, capital accumulation, family, ethical conduct, and hope. Other subordinate, queer, or counter-hegemonic modes of common sense lead to the association of failure with nonconformity, anti-capitalist practices, non-reproductive lifestyles, negativity, and critique. The path of success is straight and narrow, and failure opens up possibilities to imagine other goals for life, for love, for art, for being. Despite the fact that Harry and Meghan are wealthy enough and have produced kids, their decamping from Britain is an anti-colonial critique. How else is their failure queer? There's an acknowledgement that in Harry's fall from grace, from being a working royal, being a royal show pony, into that of a private citizen, has been a richer experience. Meghan disinvested from the stiff upper lip, the British attribute of remaining resolute and unemotional in the face of adversity. A trembling upper lip is a sign of weakness, and Meghan dared to be weak, dared to cry, dared to be the squeaky wheel, and dared to run away. They are now liberated to prioritize love and other goals for life. Negative capability is value number 8. It recommends pursuit of beauty in the face of uncertainty. John Keats, the Romantic poet, proposes negative capability as a capacity for being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reaching after fact and reason. A capability in which the sense of beauty overcomes every other consideration. There was a long period of uncertainty in Harry and Meghan's transition from working royals into private citizenship. At first, Meghan took months before she admitted to Harry about her suicidal thoughts. And then Harry went through a period of shame in admitting to his family that Meghan needed help. And then they both decided to step back and work part-time and fled to Canada, where a new limbo started. And then came COVID and a rather punitive withdrawal of their security detail, which led them to flee to California, where she had friends. Yet they negotiated their fall, precipitous fall, into an unscripted life, sustained by a sort of negative capability, by pursuing the pleasures of life with their pets and their child. Uncertainty could be weathered as long as there were some basic pleasures, as long as you pursued beauty that mattered to you. I like what Paul Trischler says. Negative capability promotes personal change by transporting us past the layered accretions of knowledge, norms, and narratives that saturate us in infancy and shroud us in adulthood. Our conscious minds are attuned to molar aggregates, whereas our unconscious desires pursue molecular affiliations. Pursuing beauty at a molecular level allowed Harry to unlearn the system of certainties within which he now sees his father and brother trapped. Harry's flight from the molar to the molecular is on a continuum and not absolute. We have to acknowledge that he is still a part of a molar entity, that is his family, with Meghan, which braces his breaking away from the bigger entity of the royal family, a more fascist and powerful molar entity. Finally, value number 9. The base of solidarity into the axis of nobility is equal to the kidocratic dimension. The base of solidarity is something we witnessed in the people who supported the couple's flight, like Tyler Perry, Oprah, who stepped up to honor and support a sister's flight from racist, sexist, feudal oppression. An elite version of BLM. And then Serena Williams said, Meghan shows what it means to be truly noble, implying there is true nobility and nobility of the inherited kind. So what is true nobility that everyone can practice? It is basically generosity. In a video I made on this value, I unpacked the film Babette's Feast to show both solidarity and nobility. The austere sisters who chose to remain with the impoverished Protestant community that their father founded in a remote area uphold the base of solidarity, whereas their Parisian refugee housekeeper, who blows all her winnings of a lottery on a lavish dinner, creates a noble experience, a ceiling-smashing noble experience that the sisters were in denial of. An act of expenditure, an unreturnable gift, like Meghan coming out on Oprah, Nietzschean Meghan, inventing her own virtue, her own necessary self-expression. In Antichrist, Nietzsche divides the gods of the world into noble gods who love unconditionally and gods of ressentiment, that is, gods who love on the condition of the practice of virtue. The latter gods were a creation of the Judeo-Christian clergy, who allocated themselves the power of monitoring for virtue and monetizing sin. This priestly system of rewards and punishments for virtues and sins flattened and formalized social behavior into that of compliance and conformity. He says, sin was invented to make science, culture, every elevation and nobility of man impossible. In contrast, Nietzsche and Bataille saw the indigenous gods as loving unconditionally, and the competitive giving of the potlatches as a similar practice of nobility. An economy of expenditure, of unconditional giving, similar to Hamlet, who treats everyone generously. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Our default mode should be generous, allowing noble experiences for everyone. The kidocratic dimension refuses to be flattened by a solidarity that excludes tall poppies like Harry and Meghan. I see them as today's Bonnie and Clyde, who have shot themselves out of a miserable fascist Britain. They show that kidocratic education is diverse and can happen anywhere. Speaking of his father and brother stuck in their certainties, Harry said, "I've tried to educate them through the process that I have been educated." And there you have it, kidocratic education that demands an affiliation with minorities, just as Fridays for Future demands an affiliation with the striking farmers of India, indigenous people, and a million species at risk of extinction. What will your kidocratic revolution be? Please do share. Till next week, bye.